All right, now this video here is going to answer a whole lot of questions that I've had, you may have had. I know I've heard a lot of people wonder this, and that has been these protests and these crowds that we see popping up around the country. Are these really people who dislike President Trump and dislike the conservative movement and dislike the policies that much? Or are these paid protesters? Are these foreigners that are brought in to be disruptors? What is really going on? Because most of these things, when we talk to your neighbor, they'll say, no, I don't believe men should be in women's sports. And no, I don't want illegal immigrants here. But when you look on TV on certain events that are happening, you see these crowds. Now, in 2020, the crowds were much bigger. They were much more violent. Why? Because USAID was still footing that bill. All of those Democrat slush funds hadn't been exposed by Doge yet, and that money had been locked up and frozen. And the protests that have gone on this year, I mean, with the exception of what took place out in Los Angeles, none of them have really been able to move the needle at all. But I think we found our answer to why. So in this video, stick with me, because we're going to bust through the whole, the rumor or the wonder of, do the Democrats pay for support, or do these people really just hate America that much? And this video is going to blow your mind. So check this article out. It says, Crowds on Demand CEO provides insight as paid protesters request. Paid protester requests went up 400% under Trump. So not only did it go up, it went up 400% under Trump. But you know what that also tells me from that headline? They weren't just requested under Trump. This has been happening. How long has this been happening? How big and how wide? Now, luckily, I've got 2 video clips of the actual CEO of Crowds on Demand. And yes, that is the name of the company, Crowds on Demand. And this is just one of the companies that has decided to go public and let it be known that the request, not services, the request for them has gone up 400%. And you'll hear why I said request rather than services. It's really impressive what he has to say. So without further ado, and then I'll come back to the article, but let's check out the CEO of Crowds on Demand as he blows your mind with what's really going on in our political system. And then I'm going to follow it up with bombshell information that he gives out about most recently who reached out to him. So let's check this out.
Explain to me what a Crowds on Demand company is all about. You provide crowds if I have some cash?
Dan, thanks so much for having me on your show. Yes, Crowds on Demand is the largest protesting company in the country. We've been around for 13 years, and we serve as a vehicle for people to fund and then execute effective, peaceful, law-abiding protests all over the country. And we've been doing so for quite a long time with a lot of success.
Okay. And so people can literally call your company and get a bunch of paid actors, if you will, to stand up there, hold signs, and scream shit on the street corner, because that's what your company does. Is that it?
Well, I take issue with a couple things. Number one, it's not actors. We're providing activists who are truly engaged with the cause, right?
But are they? I just showed you a video of a guy going, I don't even know why I'm here. They got signs and they got sheets and they said, go say this and talk to cameras and hold signs. They don't even know why they're there. I don't pay them to go out and hold up an OAN sign at a Trump rally, which they do because they love us from the goodness of their heart, not because somebody paid them to talk. Anyway, I'm out of time. Adam, I appreciate you coming on, brother. It was a good discussion. I don't know how you sleep at night. I would not do your job. I do not like it. If people, this is my thought, okay? And I'm gonna make this brief. I will die on the hill for the freedom of speech and freedom of the press. My entire life has been that since I was 18 years old. I'm 51 this year. So I love the fact that I can go on the street corner and say whatever the hell I want, agreements against my government, or call my neighbor or whatever I want, because that's America. But I don't like that companies try to stage it all and hire people and set it up. It should be organic. The American people should want to come out, get on their soapbox. They should come out and want to gather together and say, here's the cause I'm sticking up for. But you see, guys like you and the bureaucrats and the folks in D.C. love stirring up the pot between us Americans. And so you pay people to do this and you make a scene look bigger than it really is.
Wow. Now, as you saw, he's the CEO of the largest crowd or protesting company in America. And so these uproars and these protests and these people literally, they don't have any idea what they're protesting and why they're there. I even saw one clip where this young kid, they said, well, why are you here? He said, well, I saw that some people was getting together online and kind of lonely, and I was hoping I'd come down here and make some friends. He didn't give a crap about the issues. Now, that was that. And I wanted to show that clip because rather than just let him just spew his propaganda, I wanted you to see what happens when a real patriot that's not afraid to call balls and strikes get one of these, because he's a left-wing extremist too. That's all he is. He's a left-wing extremist too. helping the Democrats expand this BS propaganda that the people are behind them, and they're not. But let's check out this next clip where News Nation is going to have him really bust through some other information about his most recent opportunity that he had from the Democrat Party specifically. Check this clip out.
Aligned with the organizers of the July 17th movement have approached us. And in fact, we rejected an offer that probably is worth around $20 million.
$20 million?
Correct. I mean, this is a nationwide thing, right? It's not to say I would have made $20 million personally, but the value of the contract would have been worth around that amount nationwide to organize huge demonstrations around the country. But personally, I just don't think it's effective. So I'm not trying to call myself virtuous for rejecting it. What I'm saying is, I'm rejecting it not because I don't want to take the business, but because frankly, this is going to be ineffective. It's going to make us all look bad.
On Thursday, protests are being held around the country in opposition of Trump. They also take place on the 5th anniversary of the passing of former U.S. Rep. John Lewis, Democrat from Georgia. So as you see, folks, the fact of the matter is, don't believe the hype. And if you're here watching this, then I already know that we don't believe the hype. We knew it was BS and smoke screens, but guess what? Now we have factual proof. If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, because I will never ask you for a super chat or for a cash app. But you hitting that like button, it really helps get the information out there to other people. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And whether you're already subscribed or you're subscribing now, make sure that when you hit the notification bell that you select all, because YouTube has been having issues with the notification. But if you hit all, that way YouTube will make sure that you get notified when I upload new videos. To know that these crowds and these uprisings, have you ever paid attention? They always look homely, or they're really old. So they're either retired and don't have a job, or they're homely and just don't have a job. Because anybody that's providing for themselves, paying bills, taking care of a family, ain't got time to be on a bus going around city to city holding up signs. Makes you wonder, was that Bernie and AOC, were those rallies real? I heard that Bernie and AOC allegedly were busing as many as 2,000 people from venue to venue to make sure that they had a built-in cheering section. But how effective is that? That's exactly why they take clips of that and they put it out on the media and make the people believe, oh my God, people are behind it. But then on election day, or when it's time for whatever's going on to actually show face, it's never quite as it seems. It's like the fake polls they put up. Oh, Kamala's winning. Trump destroys her and blows her out. As a matter of fact, whenever these folks are putting out a poll and they're saying that Republicans are doing well or Trump is doing well, I actually believe it means that they're doing phenomenal, because these folks are so twisted, so dark, and so demonic that they root against our country just to spite. And I'm going to stop saying they're doing it despite Trump. I no longer believe that. I believe they're doing it despite everybody who no longer aligns, who sees right through their veil of BS. They wish the gulag on the whole lot of everybody who doesn't think and believe like them. And you know what's going to happen? Their desire to want that done to everybody else is exactly why it seems like the pendulum is swung in their direction and is booting all of these fools left and right. So let me go ahead and get into this article. Crowds on Demand CEO provides insight as paid protest requests up 400% under Trump. Crowds on Demand CEO Adam Stewart told Fox and Friends on Friday that his company has received 400% more paid protest requests this year than during the same period last year. Fox News' Lawrence Jones asked the Crowds on Demand CEO how much the paid protesters that he curates for political protests typically make for their services. We don't comment on specific protests, but generally the range can be from the low hundreds, the low 100s, into a few hundred, he told Jones. It really depends on the location, the duration, and any challenges, for example, cold weather or early morning. You guys at Fox and Friends know all about getting up early in the morning. We tend to pay people more for that. Smart's company, Crowds on Demand, states on its website that they are the best known for organizing passionate demonstrations, rallies, flash mobs, corporate PR events, and lighthearted events such as paparazzi, brand ambassadors, and PR stunts. Well, the CEO noted that while there is a lot of misinformation online about paid protesters, the individuals employed by Crowds on Demand are only deployed for peaceful and law-abiding protests and are focused on persuasion. Now, how can he guarantee the people that they sending out there, where there's evidence that some they've sent out didn't even know why they're there, aren't doing anything bad or terrorizing anybody? They don't know that. Because I'm sure they signed a waiver saying, hey, if you do this, it's not our bad, whoever you are, paid protester. When asked by Jones whether protesters are paid on an hourly basis and how much they are paid per hour, Swart didn't answer the question directly, but offered some insight into what circumstances would warrant an increased pay rate. It's hard to give you a specific figure. If you're organizing a conservative demonstration in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, that will be a higher pay rate, or a left-wing demonstration in rural Mississippi, that would be a higher rate, because finding and identifying those people is harder, and that might be a more tense environment in those particular locations. As you would imagine, he explained. Now, he don't throw out some conservative out there. He already said from the July 17th event, the No Kings crap, it's not a conservative calling you. No Kings rally, just like I said, no oligarchs, no Kings. Get out of here. Jones then he just had to do that. They just have to always try to put something Republican. It's like if we did a Republican event. Yeah, but have you done one? No. Admittedly so. This has all been left-wing events that they do. Because conservatives want genuine support, not just paid BS that's fake and it doesn't last. Jones then asked the CEO whether the people who are being paid to protest at political events are typically aligned with the causes that they are protesting for, or if they're just out for a paycheck. They genuinely share these beliefs. And I'll put it this way, right? I'm asking your listeners, your viewers right now, if you got paid a couple $100s, probably most of your viewers lean conservative, would you guys go to a BLM protest for a couple $100? He proposed. I bet most of your viewers are shouting into their TV screens, no, I would not do that, right? Correct. So whether it's conservative, there's a lot of misinformation that we only work for the left. We work for the left and the right, but always on the side of common sense and generally on the side of the underdog. So a lot of conservatives use our service because a lot of times there's a case where hippies with a trust fund are out there protesting, but conservatives are more likely to have jobs and families. So actually, they require a little bit more of an incentive to turn out to a demonstration. Following up on Swart's response, that's BS. Following up on Swart's response, Jones asked the CEO which side of the political aisle hires more paid protesters from his company, the right or the left. So we tend to be hired by the oppositional party, right? So in the sense of right now, we're getting more requests on the federal level from Democrats, as you would imagine. But for example, in liberal states such as California, we are often brought in by conservatives because we are an outside the box strategy, right? Swart responded, adding that the number of paid protesters requested by either side of the aisle depends on who's in power. That is BS. And he's even trying to sugarcoat it not to lose his left-wing business because he knows, even the way he worded that, instead of just saying, oh, yeah, well, no, he just said, we're often, and he used California, the most liberal state in the union. In California, we are often brought in by conservatives because we are an outside-the-box strategy, right? What does that even mean? Brought in for conservatives to do what? To try to schedule a PR because y'all good at press releases to schedule an event, or are they hiring protesters? Now, he admittedly said the Democrats are literally hiring protesters. I can't stand how these people try to spin it, but I get it. He's a businessman, so he's got to try to pepper it a little bit, but anybody that can read between the lines can see exactly what he's saying. In closing, Swart responded to Jones's critique that paid protesters are helping to create inorganic political demonstrations and possibly misleading others into thinking that certain movements have more grassroots support than they actually do. The reality is, Lawrence, people have different incentives for coming out there. There's no such thing as a truly organic protest, Lawrence, he stated. You see what I'm saying? It's mumbo jumbo like that. Everyone has a reason for being somewhere, whether they're flexing on Instagram, flexing for politics, staffer, or being compensated. So I don't think there's such a thing as truly organic. That is such a non-answer. No, when people go to a Trump rally, they're organically there because they love the country and they support the movement that he's pushing. When people go to a left-wing progressive Democrat rally, you don't know if they're there for trans, for gay, straight, if they're there for women's rights, if they're there for illegal immigrants. You don't know. It's about 150 different reasons all of these people come together. The only one unified thing they got is Orange Man Bad. Orange Man Bad. That's the only unified. And that's why once he won, the movement's there because all of your whining and complaining was for naught. He's in there now. And nobody's paying attention to you. We got Jasmine Crotchett losing her spot. We got Adam Shifty Schiff and Letitia James and these folks on the run, backpedaling on the back foot. Liz Cheney been real quiet. Have you noticed that? So let's just stay tuned because, man, these folks are nonstop content machines. They give us something new to be able to share with one another and to just make our battle armor that much stronger. So when there is an opportunity for us to go out and protest, we know what we're up against. We're up against fakers. They're posers. They're not even real. We're real. So And I want to tell you for real and from the top and bottom of my heart, thank you for watching this video, especially if you've watched up to this point. And if you haven't already, hit that like button. And if you aren't subscribed, subscribe. And most importantly, also, please leave a comment. Tell me what you think. But most importantly, I want you to stay safe and you be great. I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.